Genesis 4:26. It says, and to Seth also a son was born, and he called his name Enosh. At that time, men began to call upon the name of Jehovah. So, if you have the recovery version of the of the Old Testament, you have this note in Genesis 4:26, and note number 2. The Hebrew word, this is for call. The Hebrew word means to call to cry unto, to cry out audibly. Because men realized that their life was vanity, that this is an implication from Abel. You know, Abel was Seth's brother. So, and he was the one that was killed. But his name was, Abel means vanity. And then this one, Seth, named his son Enosh. And Enosh means frail and mortal man. Frail and mortal. So, because men realized that their life was vanity and that they were frail and mortal, they spontaneously began to call upon the name of Jehovah, the Eternal One. Although they were vain and weak, by calling on the name of the Lord, they were made rich and strong, for they entered into the riches and the strength of the one on whom they called. And then it says, see verse 21, note 1 in Acts 2. So, saints, in the New Testament, we have this note, Acts 2:21, and note 1. It's a very comprehensive note. I'm going to read, I hope you bear with me. Again, I believe there are a number of new ones who have never seen this or heard this, and I'd like to take the time to read this. And if you've read before, I hope we could be refreshed with some of these points that are striking concerning this practice of calling on the name of the Lord. So this is Acts 2:21, the message in the message that Peter spoke on the day of Pentecost, where he is quoting the prophecy of the outpouring of the Spirit in Joel, right? So the note says, calling on the name of the Lord is not a new practice that began in the New Testament. Rather, it began with Enosh, the third generation of mankind. It was continued by Job, Abraham, Isaac, Moses, and the children of Israel, Samson, Samuel, David. Actually, saints, if you read the note, with every name, there are verses there. This paragraph that I'm reading in the Old Testament has over 50 verses. 50 verses to show how the Old Testament saints called on the name of the Lord. And then in the next paragraph, another at least 14 verses, over 60 verses to show